Have you ever had one of those moments where you're watching your grandchild run around, laughing and playing, but then, out of the blue, they stop, hold their belly, and say, "Grandma, my tummy hurts"? It's heartbreaking, isn't it? You want to wave a magic wand and make that pain go away. But more often than not, it turns out to be something as frustrating and uncomfortable as constipation. And if you've been through it with a child or grandchild, you know, it's no small matter. Constipation in children is more common than we often realize. It's not just a little inconvenience. It can affect their mood, their sleep, even their appetite. And when they're uncomfortable, everyone around them feels it too. As a grandparent or caregiver, you want to help. But you also want to do it naturally, without reaching for harsh medications every time. Now here's the good news: some simple changes in what a child eats can make a world of difference. In fact, there are 5 foods that can gently and effectively relieve constipation in children, foods you might already have in your kitchen. And the best part? These foods aren't just helpful for the little ones, they're great for you, too. Because let's be honest, constipation doesn't care if you're 5 or 75. It can sneak up on anyone. So today, we're going to walk through this together. We're talking about real food, nothing complicated or exotic. Just wholesome, natural ingredients that support digestion and help the body do what it's supposed to do. As we go, I'll also share a few tips that can make these foods more appealing to picky little eaters. Because, as every parent or grandparent knows, you can have the healthiest food in the world, but if the child won't eat it, it won't do a bit of good. Let's start with a fruit that's so common, so humble, we often forget how powerful it really is: the pear. That's right, juicy, sweet pears are one of nature's gentlest remedies for constipation. They're full of fiber, especially when you leave the skin on. And that fiber acts like a broom inside the intestines, helping everything move along without drama or discomfort. Now, if you've got a little one who turns their nose up at fruit, try slicing a ripe pear and sprinkling a touch of cinnamon on it. Maybe warm it slightly in the microwave. Suddenly, it feels more like a treat than a health food. You can also blend pears into a smoothie with a banana and a splash of almond milk. Most kids love smoothies, and it's a great way to sneak in fiber without a fuss. Speaking of bananas, they deserve a moment of their own here, but only the ripe ones. You know, the ones with little brown spots on the skin. Those are the ones that are softer, easier to digest, and more likely to help get things moving. Unripe bananas, on the other hand, can actually cause constipation. So, if you're reaching for one to help a child with tummy troubles, make sure it's fully ripe. Next up is oatmeal. A warm bowl of oats in the morning can work wonders, not just for you, but for the children in your life, too. Oatmeal is rich in soluble fiber, which helps soften the stool and make it easier to pass. And it's so versatile. You can make it sweet with chopped apples and a drizzle of honey, or stir in some mashed berries for a colorful, kid-friendly breakfast. I've even seen parents use cookie cutters to mold cooled oatmeal into fun shapes. Whatever works, right? Here's the thing: children don't always have the language to say exactly what they're feeling. They might act out, get fussy, or refuse to eat, and sometimes the root cause is just that they haven't had a good bowel movement in a few days. We've all been there in our own ways. You don't feel like yourself, your energy is low, and even your mood can take a hit. So imagine how that feels for a child who doesn't fully understand what's going on. That's why it's such a gift, really, to be able to help them with something as simple as offering the right foods. And these aren't just any foods, they're comforting, nourishing, familiar. You don't have to search a health food store or learn how to pronounce anything complicated. Just pears, ripe bananas, a bowl of oatmeal. Gentle foods, doing powerful work. Sometimes, we underestimate how much of an impact these little choices can make. You might think, well, it's just breakfast, but for a constipated child, that breakfast could be the turning point that makes their whole day better. Imagine how much more they'll want to play, eat, and smile once that uncomfortable pressure in their belly is gone. And remember, this isn't just about fixing a problem after it happens. These foods can also help prevent constipation from coming back. A little pear with lunch, a banana after school, oatmeal a few times a week, it all adds up. Just like with adults, keeping things moving regularly can help kids feel more balanced, more comfortable, and even sleep better at night. Of course, water plays a big part too. Fiber needs water to do its job. Without enough hydration, even the best fiber-rich foods can leave things stuck. So if you're introducing more fiber into a child's diet, gently encourage more water, too. A fun cup or silly straw can turn it into a game, especially for the little ones. And let's face it, we adults could use that reminder ourselves sometimes. Now that we've talked about pears, ripe bananas, and oatmeal, you can probably already picture how easy it could be to start making changes. You might already have one or two of these in your kitchen right now. And by simply offering these foods more often, in a variety of tasty ways, you're doing more than feeding a child, you're helping them feel better, naturally and gently. Let's keep this going, because we've got even more to cover. Some of the best foods for relieving constipation in children are still to come, and you might be surprised by one or two of them. Another wonderful food that helps relieve constipation in children is one you might already use when you make sandwiches: avocados. Yes, those creamy, green little fruits aren't just for guacamole or toast. They're packed with healthy fats and fiber, both of which play a big role in keeping digestion smooth and regular. You see, the fiber in avocados isn't just any fiber, it's a mix of both soluble and insoluble types, which helps bulk up the stool while also making it easier to pass. Now, some kids might hesitate at the texture of plain avocado, and that's perfectly normal. But here's a trick that works like magic: mash a ripe avocado with a little banana. Add a dash of vanilla extract or a tiny bit of honey, and it turns into a creamy, pudding-like treat that many little ones love. You can even spread it on a piece of whole grain toast and call it green butter toast. Kids love fun names. And just like that, you've snuck in something that not only tastes good but helps their little digestive systems work the way they're supposed to. What I've seen over the years is that constipation isn't always about what a child is eating, it's more often about what they aren't eating. A lot of processed snacks, sugary treats, and white bread foods lack the fiber and nutrients that help the body stay regular. And I'm not saying they can't enjoy the occasional cookie or bowl of mac and cheese, but balance is key. Adding fiber-rich foods like avocado, fruit, and whole grains can make a world of difference without taking away the joy of eating. Now, let me tell you about something you might not expect to help with constipation: chia seeds. Yes, those tiny little seeds that look like nothing special actually become little fiber powerhouses once they're soaked in liquid. They absorb water and turn into a gel-like texture, which is fantastic for easing things along in the digestive tract. It's kind of like giving the intestines a soft cushion to work with. You can make a simple chia pudding by stirring a spoonful of chia seeds into a small cup of milk, dairy or non-dairy, whichever you prefer, and letting it sit in the fridge for a few hours or overnight. Add a little bit of fruit or a drop of maple syrup, and suddenly it's dessert. It's soft, easy to swallow, and feels like a treat. Most kids love it once they try it, and the texture, although different, can actually be fun. If you're already using chia seeds in your own yogurt or cereal, why not share a spoonful or two with the little ones? Of course, the real key here is to offer these foods regularly, not just when things are already backed up. Think of them as little digestive helpers, showing up day after day, keeping everything running smoothly without any big drama. Just like watering a plant a little bit every day helps it grow strong and healthy, offering these foods consistently helps your child's system stay balanced and happy. And it's not just about avoiding tummy aches. A child who isn't struggling with constipation is often more active, more focused, and more emotionally balanced. It's amazing what a difference it makes. You might notice fewer meltdowns, more energy for play, and better sleep at night. That's the beauty of taking a natural, food-based approach. You're not just fixing one problem, you're supporting their whole well-being. You may have already tried various things over the years: fiber supplements, prune juice, maybe even medication when things got really tough. And sometimes, those things are necessary, especially when constipation has gone on for a while. But when you can make changes at the root level, starting with what goes on their plate, you're giving them tools they'll carry with them into adulthood. Imagine growing up knowing which foods help your body feel good. That's a real gift. And here's something else to consider. These aren't just tips for children. They're gentle enough for anyone, no matter your age. In fact, if you're someone who occasionally struggles with constipation yourself, these same foods can be part of your own daily rhythm. I've heard from many grandparents who started eating these things with their grandchildren and noticed they felt better, lighter, more energetic. It becomes a beautiful way to care for each other across generations simply by sharing a healthy meal or snack. You don't have to turn your kitchen upside down or cook anything complicated. A bowl of oatmeal here, a slice of pear there, a spoonful of chia pudding for dessert. Small, consistent changes that add up over time. And if the little ones are hesitant at first, that's okay. Keep offering, keep modeling, keep things light and positive. You'd be surprised how often a child who says yuck the first time will come around if they see you enjoying it with a smile. When I think back to my own childhood, I remember how much food played a part in how we felt. A big Sunday dinner might have left us feeling full but sluggish. On the other hand, a bowl of fresh fruit or a homemade soup left us energized and light. Children today are no different. They may be surrounded by more screens and more fast food, but their bodies still respond best to natural, wholesome nourishment. That part hasn't changed. So far, we've talked about some powerful foods that can really help relieve constipation in children, foods like pears, ripe bananas, oatmeal, avocados, and chia seeds. Each one brings something unique to the table. But what ties them all together is how gentle and natural they are. They don't force the body, they support it. They don't just treat the symptoms, they help prevent the problem from returning. And if you're already thinking of how to start introducing some of these to your grandchild's diet, or even your own, then you're on the right track. It's never too late to make a small change. And when it comes to digestion, small changes can bring big relief. Let's keep going, because we've still got one more food to talk about, and it just might be the most surprising one yet. Now, let's talk about one more food that's incredibly helpful when it comes to easing constipation in children, and it might not be what you expect: lentils. That's right, those tiny legumes that often show up in soups and stews are actually a quiet powerhouse when it comes to fiber and digestive support. Lentils are packed with both soluble and insoluble fiber, which means they not only soften stool but also help the intestines move things along naturally. They're also gentle on little tummies and rich in nutrients like iron and protein. The trick with lentils is to make them tasty and fun, especially for picky eaters. And believe it or not, that's not as hard as it sounds. You could make a simple lentil soup with carrots and a touch of seasoning, nothing spicy or overwhelming, just a warm, soothing bowl of comfort. Or, if your grandchild likes finger foods, try forming cooked lentils into small patties and baking them into soft little bites. Some families even blend lentils into tomato sauce for pasta. It hides them completely, but you still get all that wonderful fiber. And here's something special: kids often respond positively when they're included in the kitchen. Let them help rinse the lentils or stir the pot. When they feel involved, they're more likely to try the finished dish. Plus, it's a wonderful bonding moment. It's not just about food, it's about sharing something together. And when you sit down and enjoy that meal side by side, knowing it's doing good for both of your bodies, there's something really comforting about that. At the heart of all this, what we're really talking about is nourishment. Not just feeding a child to fill their belly, but truly supporting their health, their comfort, and their growth with foods that love them back. And the wonderful part is, the foods we've talked about, pears, ripe bananas, oatmeal, avocados, chia seeds, and lentils, they're not strange or hard to find. They're accessible, affordable, and easy to prepare in ways that children will actually enjoy. It's not always easy to know how to help when a child is hurting. Tummy pain from constipation might seem like a small thing, but for a young one, it can feel overwhelming. They don't always have the words to explain what they're feeling, and that can lead to frustration, tears, or refusal to eat. But once their digestion starts working more smoothly, everything starts to shift. Their mood improves. They sleep better. They eat more willingly. They play with more energy and joy. And as someone who loves them, who's watching them grow, there's no better feeling than seeing that light come back into their eyes, just because you offered them the right foods with care and patience. You might be wondering, how often should I give these foods? The answer is, as often as it feels natural. You don't need to serve all 6 every day. Think about what you already have in your pantry, what meals you already cook, and see where you can add or substitute. Maybe a banana becomes the afternoon snack instead of cookies. Maybe oatmeal replaces sugary cereal a few mornings a week. Maybe lentil soup becomes your Sunday dinner. Little by little, these changes build habits, not just for now, but for life. And don't worry if your first few tries don't go perfectly. Children can be creatures of habit. They might resist at first, but consistency, a little creativity, and a positive attitude can work wonders over time. Keep meals low pressure. Let them try a bite without making it a big deal. When they're ready, they'll come around. And when they do, they'll be healthier and more comfortable because of it. One of the beautiful things about aging is the wisdom that comes with it. You've seen enough to know that the simple things are often the most powerful. A kind word. A warm meal. A loving hand. Helping a child through constipation doesn't always require a trip to the pharmacy. Sometimes, it starts with a trip to the kitchen, a little intention, and a few basic ingredients that work with the body, not against it. And as you help your grandchild, or any child in your care, you're not just solving a problem. You're setting an example. You're teaching them how to listen to their bodies, how to nourish themselves, how to care for their own well-being. That's a lesson that lasts a lifetime. So whether you're trying this out for the first time or coming back to it after trying other things, remember this: food is one of the most powerful tools we have. It can comfort, it can heal, and in this case, it can bring real relief to a child who needs it. The next time your little one says, "My tummy hurts," you'll know just what to do, not with fear or confusion, but with confidence and a few natural, healing ingredients straight from the kitchen. Before we wrap up, I just want to say, if you found any of this helpful, or if you've tried some of these foods and seen a difference, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment below and share your story. You never know, your experience might help another family who's going through the same thing. And if you're interested in more natural health tips for yourself and the little ones in your life, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. There's always more to learn, and we're in this together. Thank you for spending this time with me today. You're doing something beautiful, looking out for the well-being of the next generation. And in the process, you're nurturing your own health and heart too. Here's to small changes, big relief, and feeling better at every age. Take care, and happy, healthy days to you and your family.